Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. In this video I'm going to show you the final Halloween projects that I made, so let's get started. For the first project I'm going to make a few more ornaments for my Halloween tree. I used 3 different types of items to make the heads for these. The first one is a wooden knob. It already had a hole drilled halfway through it, so all I did was just drill the hole all the way through. The next item I used was a styrofoam ball, so for that one I just poked a hole all the way through. The third item was a small styrofoam pumpkin. I removed the stem and then poked a hole all the way through that one as well. I'm going to start with the styrofoam ball, so for that one I rolled out a thin layer of air dry clay and then covered the ball with it. I then used small bits of clay to sculpt the face. I used a small triangle shape for the nose and used water and a clay tool to blend it together. For the cheeks, I used a crescent-shaped ball of clay. I also used a small triangle shape to make the ears, again using the tool and some water to blend it. I then let that dry overnight. For the pumpkin, I started by giving it a coat of paint. I did this just because I wanted to tone down the orange color and give it a matte finish. I then painted the wooden ball white. Next, I took 2 strips of crepe paper about 10 inches long, stacked them on top of each other, and then folded them in half lengthwise. I then used a needle and thread and sewed a running stitch along the length of the fold. Once I had the entire thing sewed, I trimmed the opposite edge of the crepe paper and then pulled the thread tight to gather it. I then gently pulled apart the layers to fluff them out a bit. This will be their collars. Next, I drew on the faces and then painted them. To assemble them, I threaded a long needle with some baker's twine, and then starting at the top of the head, I took the needle through the head and then the collar. I then placed a small bunch of yarn over the twine and then took the needle back up through the collar and head. I used a small bit of hot glue to glue the collar to the head. Once I had the twine pulled tight, I knotted it on the top of the head. I then tied another knot at the top of the twine to use as the hanger and then trimmed the ends of the yarn. I decided to add a bit of tinsel, so I used a dab of hot glue and then wrapped the tinsel above the collar. I did the same process on all three, except for the pumpkin head. I made a little hat out of a piece of scrapbook paper. I did this because his head was a little funky where I removed the stem, so the hat was going to hide it. When I assembled this one, I had to go through the hat first and then I could finish the same as the others. You may have to snip the very tip of the hat off to get your twine through it. Once I had the twine back through his hat, I glued the hat to his head. I then glued the tinsel around the neck and also glued some around the bottom and top of the hat. For the cat, I did the same process as the others. For the last project, I'm using an old tin. I started by gluing a small wood candle cup to the bottom and a wooden dowel cap to the top. I then used some air dry clay and a mold to decorate the sides and back of the tin. I decorated the back in case I display it somewhere where the back can be seen. Once the clay was dry, I gave it a coat of black paint. I then painted the inside back of the tin with white paint. When the paint was dry, I decoupaged a spooky house scene over the white paint. I also decoupaged a picture to the frame on the back. I then added a small bead of black glitter glue around the inside edge of the picture. Next, I used copper antique paste to highlight the clay detail. To finish it, I glued in a few Halloween miniatures. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed these easy projects, and I'll see you in the next video.